Yeah, the creator of OF died a few days ago, and they said he was 43 years old and he died of cancer. And it's just crazy to me that his legacy, his greatest contribution to humanity, the thing that he will leave on earth for us, is OF.
OnlyFans has completely ruined an
crazy.
entire generation. Dog, when I tell you, nuclear bombs couldn't even do nearly as much damage as what OnlyFans did to our society. Right?
Yeah, nukes will kill you physically, but OF definitely kills you spiritually. It's like a spirit bomb, if you will.
OnlyFans was getting bad. When I seen people not even giving life a shot at the age of 18 and going straight to OnlyFans once the clock hit 12.
Yeah, bro, this stuff is getting alarming. And people just see this as something passive. I seen this guy on Instagram Reels break this down, and it is getting crazy out here. He said that there are 18 million women from age 18 to 25 in America. There are 1.8 million women on OF from age 18 to 25. So just statistically speaking, taking those numbers, there's roughly around 10% of the women from age 18 to 25 are in some way involved on OF. And that's a big issue, especially because look at her, bro. She looks so excited. She thinks that she has it all figured out. She's 18. She's going to do this thing. No big deal. She's going to get a bunch of money and then retire early and sell off into the sunset. That's her plan. But they need to start doing before and afters. Just like the millennials had the DARE programs, they're going to have to de-incentivize people from doing this, they're going to have to do before and afters. They're going to take the optimism and the happiness in her face and put it next to her face when she's 25 and she doesn't have a soul anymore, and show kids that so they understand what happens to you, what happens to your brain when you do this type of stuff. Like, they're going to have some type of DARE program for this type of stuff in the future.
Well, if you thought that Reddit, TikTok, 4chan, and Twitter did damage, just wait till you hear all the damage that OnlyFans has done in this video. Now, for the first damage that I think OnlyFans has done to society is that it's normalized a lot of weird behavior. We live in a time where people get their back blown out in front of a camera for thousands of people to see, but it's somehow okay because they make a lot of money. That is not normal, and that is not something that we should normalize / celebrate. Look, I understand that these OnlyFans girls be having Lambos, numerous penthouses, a few rollies, and more money than I could ever imagine, but at the same time,
if you're gonna sell your dignity, hopefully you at least get something shiny. I mean, if you're gonna sell your dignity, you should at least get something shiny for the deal, right? And the craziest part is most of them aren't. But he's talking about the LeBron Jameses of OF. He's not even talking about the average people who still live average lives, are making essentially minimum wage by doing this stuff. But not only are they making minimum wage, they also have their naked body online. That's a double whammy.
They also have zero dignity if they can proudly brag about how their cheeks are getting clapped online for $4.99 a month.
Crazy.
Why are we flexing our cheeks getting obliterated online? I just don't think that is just weird to me. Another thing about OnlyFans is that it completely normalized adult films. AKA porn. Like, I swear back then, being an adult film star used to be one of the most frowned upon jobs ever. But OnlyFans has made it completely acceptable. Like, if somebody told you that they did OnlyFans, you genuinely wouldn't be surprised nowadays. But back then, that would have been one of the most shocking things to ever hear. Another weird behavior that
I think part of that happened because there's like a merging of culture. Like, when I was younger, and it's due to the internet and social media, by the way. Like, when I was younger, there was grown folk business, and then there was kid business. We had like two separate cultures, and being an adult or looking at adults was almost like this mystical thing that you didn't really understand as a kid. And then you understand it as you get older, but there was such a separation of culture that we weren't really involved in the same things. Nowadays, any girl or any young lady can get on the TikTok and see grown women doing this type of stuff. And because it's so readily available, they have easier access to it. Before, you had to know people to get into this industry. You had to move to California or some weird place, meet a guy with a mustache at a dive bar or something like that, and he presents you an opportunity to make you famous by doing this thing. Nowadays, you just log up online and it's already there, right? So I think that there was like this weird merging of culture plus the ease of access that makes it just so readily available.
Fans has kind of normalized is spawn camping young women until they turn 18. For example,
spawn camping is crazy. That's a crazy way to say that.
Remember when Danielle Bergoli started an OnlyFans 1 week after she turned 18 and she made $1 million within just 6 hours of it releasing? That means that there were some grown adults out there that found Danielle Bergoli attractive as a young girl, but they wouldn't necessarily say that. So So they chose their next best option, which was to wait for this young girl to turn 18. Now they can see her naked legally. Like, the concept of that being legal is just absolutely strange to me. And whoever bought that OnlyFans once she turned 18 needs to be locked up ASAP. No Rocky. Like,
a lot of creepy dudes out there, a lot of weirdos out there. This is why, historically speaking, fathers, uncles, brothers were expected to protect young ladies from these types of people. But now, you know, that's kind of been uprooted. You know, that's not really there anymore. But yeah, it's a lot of weird dudes out there. That's just the case.
I just find that insane because there's no way that the demographic of these people buying Danielle Bregoli's OnlyFans were like maybe 18, 19, 20, 21. They had to be like 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, maybe even some 30-year-olds in there. And we know damn well that a lot of these dudes that bought this OnlyFans didn't just randomly stumble across Danielle Bregoli the day that she turned 18. These dudes most definitely found her attractive as a young girl, and they just spawn camped their way until she made this OnlyFans. Now they can see her naked legally and go ham on the meat. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I would assume most of them are married. Like, I'm pretty sure I've seen statistics of like these type. Most of the guys that are involved in this type of stuff or subscribing to these types of things online. They're actually married. It's not like the single incels that everybody tries to fearmonger about. They're actually, for the most part, statistically speaking, from what I've seen, married guys.
That is absolutely
sexless marriage.
Insane. There's also numerous TikTok girls out there who have also made OnlyFans once they turned 18, and they made bans because of these weirdos also. Like, it's one of the weirdest things ever, and this shouldn't be something that's like normal, you know? And as I speak, there's probably some 16-year-old TikTok girl out there that plans to make an OnlyFans once she turns 18, and there's probably tons of creepy old men waiting for that day to happen, which it's disgusting to even think about.
That's what
if
it
I'm
is.
being real. I think the age of OnlyFans should be at least 21, but obviously that never changed, because right now the age to sell adult content is 18 years old, and for OnlyFans to change their age, the whole law would have to change as a whole, and that's never going to change.
Yeah, because the fact that you can like go to war or ruin your reputation for the rest of your life, but you can't have a drink until you're 21 is insane to me. Like, it's insane to me. Yeah, it's insane. And I actually think that this stuff is so destructive to society. And since we all have to deal with the consequences of this stuff on the social fabric of society, I think there should be a sin tax applied. I think just like a sin tax for alcohol, it should be applied. I think just for a sin tax on other things, it should be applied to OF girls. I think that we should just tax them at like 80 to 90% just to de-incentivize it. And we can pay off the national debt in like 3 months. Let's just harness the power of simping to fuel the nation. Why not?
So we're talking about weird behavior from OnlyFans. There's a lot of lies that goes on with just the business itself. Like, there's a lot of grown women on there lying about being 18 and 19 years old to sell more subscriptions, which is just absolutely insane. Even though those are legal ages, I still think it's weird to lie about your age to sell more subs.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is you'll get into these forums where you'll have these debates with people, and oftentimes the same people who believe that, you know, sex work. I got to be very careful on YouTube now. The censorship is definitely back in full effect. I've had so many demonetizations, it's insane. So, you know, this type of work, we can refer to it as something else. There are so many women that will say that, like, this type of work is real work. But then, like, when you hear their opinions on older men dating younger women, they're always against it. And I'm like, who do you think are buying these subscriptions when you want for like young women to be able to do this type of work? It's not like 20-year-old men that can afford and are willing to buy this type of stuff. Generally speaking, you're talking about 18-year-old young ladies with 50-year-old guys being entertained by 50-year-old guys. That's generally speaking what it is. So essentially, if you're promoting this type of stuff, you're also promoting huge age gap relationships too. And you might not even know that that's baked into the cake. But if you think about it past 2 seconds, you know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that, yeah, most of the guys that would even be able to afford something like this or be willing to spend money on something like this are guys that are middle-aged to older men.
Example, do y'all remember that one NPC TikTok girl, Pinky Doll?
Ice cream so good.
She sold out.
Ice cream so good. Gang gang.
So she actually used to lie and say that she was 19 years old to sell more subs, when in reality, she was 27. And this actually
I mean, is there no, like, aren't there, like, supposed to be, like, consumer laws against that? Isn't there, like, some type of, like, where's your integrity? If you're gonna sell it, at least be an honest person underneath it. But I mean, are you expecting people who are willing to sell themselves out to not lie to you about something like that? I mean, you know.
Happens a ton on Twitter. You'll see mad girls talking about they're the hottest 18-year-old on
False
OnlyFans.
advertisement.
Whole time they're 47 with 6 kids.
False
it's
advertisement.
insane. A girl could legit be 67 years old with the saggiest yitties of all time, but for some reason she's in every Twitter comment section talking about I'm the hottest 18-year-old on OnlyFans. Yeah, you were the hottest girl 51 years ago, Sharon. Hang it up. Like I said, I think it's weird to just straight up lie about your age to sell more subs. Like, that's just disgusting. And even the old ass men out there that are buying these girls OnlyFans, they're also just as disgusting, if not even more disgusting. Now, another reason why I think that OnlyFans completely ruined society is because it made the internet even worse for women. Now, y'all are gonna call me a simp and white knight for this, but just hear me out before you run to the comment section talking about my forehead is big. Just wait 1 second. Just hear me out. The reason why I say that OnlyFans made the internet even worse for women is because it made dudes comfortable with telling random girls online that they don't even know to make OnlyFans accounts if they find them attractive. It's the weirdest thing ever. Like, if a girl goes viral and she just happens to be attractive, the first thing that dudes are gonna say is to make an OnlyFans. It's the weirdest thing ever. For example, do y'all remember the Home Depot girl? For y'all that don't know, there's basically this girl who went viral on Twitter because she was attractive and she worked at Home Depot. And the first thing that dudes were telling her to do once they saw her was to make an OnlyFans. Like, peep some of these comments. Hear me out. OnlyFans and you equals rich.
And here's the craziest part. There's a whole pipeline for this, by the way. There are guys that will sit on your stream because they like to look at you, donate money to you, get you reliant on the money that's being donated to you. And then over time, as that money starts to dwindle because maybe you're streaming less, because maybe you're less consistent, because maybe some guys are tired of involving themselves on a stream and they're getting frustrated because you ain't started the thing yet, that you ain't started the OF yet, they'll wait for you to start to get desperate and then keep asking you. They will wait. They will watch your entire career from the time you go up to the time you start going all the way down, and they'll wait for you all the way at rock bottom to tell you that you should start an OF. And for a lot of ladies that are online, they get used to the amount of money you can make online who mismanage their money. This is their last stop. There's an influencer to OF pipeline. It's real.
If you want to make an OnlyFans, real niggas wouldn't judge you. When OF, you're telling me that you see an attractive woman online and your first thought is she should make an OnlyFans? Like, I just find that insane. And honestly, I salute this woman to the fullest because at the end of the day, she chose her morals over money. She could have made life-changing bands off of OnlyFans, but she just chose to stick with her normal job and just create IG Reels and make YouTube videos. When the whole world was telling her to create an OnlyFans. Like, that is hard to do in a world where OnlyFans girls be having Lambos and just regular working women have Toyota Priuses.
Well, it's not as hard to do when you value certain things. When you don't value cars more than you value your dignity, it's not that hard to do. And by the way, I'm not trying to discredit her or like take anything away from her. I know the devil can be very persuasive, but yeah, when you just have different values, when you value your dignity more than you value consumerism, it's really not that hard of a decision. You just have to have those values. I've actually never seen any interviews of women who have tried to transition into the next phase of their lives that don't say that they regret doing this. Actually, I think this is going to be a very good reality television show in the near future. This is the first wave of it, but as we see it growing, and it is going to keep growing, this is going to become like reality TV for sure.
Like, that is a hard task. And this actually happens to a lot of women that create content. Because if you look at their comment section on like IG Reels or maybe TikTok, or maybe even like if a girl is doing a YouTube Q&A, the first question that a lot of dudes are going to ask is if that girl is going to make it OnlyFans. Like, bro, it's crazy because if you do have an OnlyFans nowadays, people are going to tell you to find God. But if you don't have one, people are going to beg you to make one. Like, it's a lose-lose situation. Another reason why I think OnlyFans made the internet even worse for women is because it also completely ruined Linktree / just women having links in their bio. Like, y'all know how on Instagram,
as soon as you see a link,
it's have like a link in their bio, and that link will take you to maybe like a YouTube, Twitch, or maybe even like a clothing brand. Well, it's gotten to the point where if a woman has a Linktree in her bio, the first assumption that a lot of dudes are gonna make, even myself, is that that girl probably has an OnlyFans.
Yeah, because statistically speaking, most of them do. And so it's not like a wild assumption, especially when you look at some of the content and some of the stuff that and I'm not saying all, but I'm saying some of the ladies that are heavily involved on Instagram, it's a very specific type of lady. Some of the stuff that they post on Instagram is the same stuff that you would see one of these types of women post on Instagram. And then when you see a little link in the bio, you go, oh, well, she's probably just like all those other types of people. So it's not like a crazy assumption that guys make.
And in reality, that girl could just have like a Twitch link in that link tree, right? But
Yeah.
since these OF girls are running so rampant nowadays and you can see them everywhere, every dude is gonna automatically assume that any girl with a link in her bio has an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Like, it's sad to say, but it's true. Another reason why I think OnlyFans ruined society is because it gave people this money over morals mindset. If there's one thing that OnlyFans has taught me, it's that people are almost always gonna pick that dollar over their morals on any given day. The other day, I seen this post by Ruby Rose that said, "Yo bitch got morals, I got millions." Well, excuse me, Miss Ruby. I never knew that having no morals was a flex. But at the same time, I don't know what I was supposed to expect from somebody that said, sometimes you have to lie about your age when it comes to NFL players. At 16 years old, she had no morals 10 years ago, and she still has no morals today. It's insane. Don't get me wrong. Money is a really important thing in life because without money, you can't do a majority of things. But that money shouldn't matter if you don't have any morals / if it goes against your morals.
Yeah.
Like, not all money is good money.
No.
Yeah, that money from OnlyFans might be good, but at the same time, it comes with a greater cost, which is your dignity and future. Like, I swear, people don't even care
but
about
some people don't know the value of that until they don't have it anymore. Like, some people don't understand how much that matters until every night they have to close their eyes understanding what they do for work. And then some of those people either regret it and they try to like live a life where they try to like make up for it, or they start they have like this fake pride, this overly unnatural fake pride in it to the point where it's damn near transparent that they actually feel shame for the thing that they did.
Because, bro, OnlyFans literally leaves a permanent stain on your life. It leaves a mark on your future family, and I'm telling you, once your kids find out that you did OnlyFans back in your heyday, that's going to be a pretty odd topic to even talk about. Y'all remember when that one blonde OnlyFans girl, Elle Brooke, was on Piers Morgan, and she was basically saying how her kids are going to cry in a Ferrari once they figure out that she did OnlyFans?
How do you feel when you want to have kids yourself?
Well, I mean, I don't really want kids right now. But at
You
least
will do. How old are you?
25.
Right, so you will do at some stage, probably, right?
Maybe.
When you do, are you going to be proud that you have your little ones and they look at you and go, didn't you want to be a lawyer, Mummy? What happened?
Yeah.
And you go, yeah, but look at all my stuff.
They can cry in a Ferrari.
Yeah, she doesn't give a shit about those kids. She doesn't care. That's the thing. A lot of these people don't look into the future. They don't value family, because if you value family, you would value the things that might affect your kids, or you would try to protect your future kids from the things that might affect them. She doesn't care. She just wants the Lamborghini. Whatever comes with that, it doesn't matter. Whether that be shame upon her family, whether that be shame upon her kids, whether that be her sons never being able to even laugh too hard at a joke. Because if we in the roasting session and your son, I don't care if he got the latest shoes. I don't care if he's always going to Disney World. I don't care if after school he gets picked up in a Lamborghini. If your son even laughs too hard during a roasting section, he is done for. He can never laugh amongst men ever, or there's just something that's going to touch his soul that somebody's going to say. And there's nothing, and then they can pull up video evidence. They have video proof, 4K. We're gone from the 360p, 720p, even 1080p. They're pulling up photographs and videos in 4K. You're done. She doesn't care about her kids at all. It's about selfish desire, and it's that simple. All of these stories about trauma or feeling like you have to do this to provide your kids a life, you could just work a job. My mom had my brother at 15. She had me at 18, and I'm so happy she didn't sell out her dignity. And maybe that meant we grew up without everything in the world, but it was fine. I'm okay. It built character. This idea that kids need a lavish life in order to just be kids is a cancer upon society. It's not true. Most of us grew up with not that much, and most of us are fine for the most part.
Like, yeah, don't get me wrong, that Ferrari is cool and all. It's pretty fast, and I mean, it does look nice. But once your kid gets out that Ferrari and walks through those school doors, it's over for that man. It takes one kid in that school to find out you did OnlyFans. Now your son is getting his head dunked into a toilet on a Wednesday morning before PE class. You're telling me that it's okay that you get clapped online, pile drive, put in a DDT, and put in the walls of Jericho, all on camera for the world to see, but it's somehow fine because you have a Ferrari? That is absolutely insane. If you thought that bullying was bad now, just wait until 20 years from now. These roast sessions are about to get brutal. That's why you're ugly and your breath stinks. That's why your mom did OnlyFans.
It's over.
If your mom did OnlyFans, you might as well go mute because that's the safest option.
Yeah.
Like these OnlyFans pictures are never gonna leave the internet. I don't think people realize that. And also, just because you retire from OnlyFans, that doesn't mean that the pictures and videos retire as well. For example, do y'all remember the ex-adult film star Mia Khalifa? The other day, she was actually on Twitter talking about how the singer Tyler should stay away from these lil streamers because Kai Cenat and Tyler recently did a stream with each other. And when I tell you, all hell broke loose in the comment section because people just started dropping pictures of her getting clapped from like 8 years ago, dog. And that's what I mean by these pictures never really leave the internet. It doesn't matter
and
when
then the
you retire.
craziest part is to make the amount of money. It's like a scale. This is like the devil is so persuasive and so convincing. And I'm not even making this a spiritual thing. But the craziest part is to be the LeBron Jameses. Every new subscriber you get makes you more famous and more popular, but you get a nicer car, right? It scales up. And so as you can afford more things, you also get more famous or really infamous. And so if you have all these nice things, but if you ever decide to have a relationship, you decide that you want to build a family because that's the next phase of life, and maybe you never thought that far, but you're regretting some of the things you did in the past, it will always come back to haunt you because if you're the type of OF girl that can afford all these cars, you're probably popular enough to never, ever have a peace of mind ever again because there are people that are just going to be in your comments and in your DMs all the time. And so it's like this weird scaling system where the more you sacrifice in terms of your social just dignity, the more powerful you become. It's like Chainsaw Man when they have to make those deals with those demons in order to get more power, and the more of their body they sacrifice to the demon, the more strong they become. That's like what they're doing with OF. Like they're sacrificing, like they're like, oh, I'll do this depraved act in order to get more followers and to be more famous so I can have the car. But then it just makes it so that like you're paying more. Like it costs you more on the other end.
These pictures are always going to be there, dog. That scene probably happened ages ago. But since it's online, that picture is now forever. And what's even sadder is that when these OnlyFans girls do try to be serious and turn their lives around, no one ever takes them seriously. Like if an OnlyFans girl tried to transition into different content, like maybe YouTube or like Twitch streaming, it wouldn't work because a lot of people are only going to see them as that girl that was getting clapped on camera. I mean, it has worked in some instances, but a majority of the time, it's not going to work at all. For example, there's this one OnlyFans girl named Nala who basically stopped doing OnlyFans to pursue religion.
Yeah,
And when
here's the problem though. I think if you quit this line of work, you have to get off of the internet completely. I think that's how you do it. I think if you quit this line of work, you make the money, which, you know, I don't agree with all this stuff, but I'm saying you made the money. If you get online, if you think that you're going to continue to have just like an online presence after most people are working for $50,000 a year and you made $1 million in 2 years and you think you just going, oh, I'm changed now and just live the rest of your life with this $2 million that most people will never be able to get, they're not going to let you breathe if you're online. But most of these people don't behave this way in person. And so if you just get off of online, for the most part, you'll be okay. Now, every now and then there is going to be an incident where somebody might recognize you in public. But if you stay offline, the context switches of being on like the government will go, there are UFOs, and then a week later everybody will forget, like nobody cares, right? So it's like the context switches online are so quick. If you just get offline for 2 or 3 years, people will forget about you, and then if you just stay off of line, you'll pretty much for the most part be fine. The problem is these women will try to quit, but yet they think that they're going to keep an online presence. And Mia in particular, she never really quit. Number one, she keeps going by the name that she got from the industry. She said that the industry took advantage of her and only paid her a certain amount of money. They came out and said that she lied, and then they proved that they paid her more than she said she made, and she had to confess to that. And then she kept using the name that she got from the industry, and then she started to do OF. So did she really ever quit? So it's like, yeah, they want to be able to quit and then stay online and think that that's going to be realistic. And it's like, no, if you want to quit, you need to take your $2 million and move to the forest or live off the land or something. Like, that's your life now.
Nobody took her seriously. Did she get baptized in semen?
Oh,
Biggest
no.
meme of all time. This is delusion at its finest. Your entire internet presence is you not choosing God. And honestly, like, even though it's messed up, these comments are messed up, I can understand why. Because number one, it happened all of a sudden. And number two, she used to get clapped online, and that was her previous internet presence.
Yeah, I think it's because people are sick of like the pornography to religion pipeline. People have seen it so much that they've just gotten sick of it. They start by making a bunch of money from this type of work. And then after they make all the money, all of a sudden they become an activist because the only reason they did it was because they were young, naive, and exploited. They didn't do it because they were big-eyed and they were materialistic and they didn't really care about these things and their family warned them not to do this type of stuff and they did it anyway. That ain't the reason why. It's always because they were taken advantage of. And so then they become an activist against these type of industries, and then they always end up in some type of way trying to convert into like some religion, generally speaking in America, Christianity. And I think that there are even a large amount of Christian men especially that are even sick of seeing this type of stuff.
Like, she went from worshiping the BBC
it's
to
like a
worshiping
mockery,
the Bible. Like, that's a pretty drastic change. So it makes sense to why people don't really take her serious. But that just goes to show how much of a stain OnlyFans puts on your life.
Yeah, because not only are you saying that you're quitting this line of work, but then you're trying to do all of this stuff publicly while maintaining your presence on the internet. And a lot of Christians might see it in a sense where, like, if you were serious about actually changing your life, you wouldn't still be trying to do all this stuff in front of all of the people. This is something a journey that you need to be on with the new religion and the God that you know, and God. This is the journey that you're supposed to be going on. Everybody else doesn't need to be a part of that. And if you were serious about it, that's how you would go about it. And I know I just said that there are like religious guys that are sick of this type of stuff, but I think like most guys are just sick of this type of stuff. There are literal guys that don't even believe in God at all that are sick of seeing this type of stuff. I know guys who are not the most religious people. For the most part, they're atheists, and but they don't disrespect religion because they understand the utility and the point of it. And so like they even those types of guys are sick of seeing women use religion as a tool to try to act like purified. So yeah, people are just sick of it.
Even convert to religion without people cooking on you and saying that you're doing it for clout or just bringing up your past. Like, it's sad, but at the end of the day, like, I can't really be mad at these people who are cooking on her, you know? All that being said, OnlyFans has done a lot of damage in today's society.
Yeah.
And I think that OnlyFans is like the new cigarette of this generation. Hear me out, because I actually think this is like a really great analogy. At first, cigarettes were cool, trendy, and everyone was doing it because, I mean, there really was no research backing up why cigarettes were bad. Yeah, it was smoke going into your lungs, but somehow in the 1950s and 60s, that was considered healthy. But now 60 years later, we've realized all the negative effects of smoking from all these studies we've done. And I think the exact same thing is going to happen with OnlyFans. It may seem cool, trendy, and normal now, but 40 years from now, people are going to realize how much damage OnlyFans has done to their lives.
If you don't,
I think these OnlyFans girls could even possibly go that route that a lot of these adult stars are going right now, where they're unaliving themselves because of their past mistakes, which is actually really sad to even think about. Even though I don't really support girls doing OnlyFans and adult content, it is sad to see people unalive themselves for their past mistakes. Like, it's really sad. And that's been happening to a lot of adult stars lately. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section.
Here's the thing, like, if you don't already as a grown adult see how this type of stuff could negatively affect like the next generation and has negatively affected the next generation, you're an insane person. You should already know it. You don't need studies to have that intuition and for that intuition to be right. And I think most people already have that intuition. Let me know in the comments below if this video is a W or L, and give me the HBO special as a help brother out special. Hit the like and the subscribe button for more content. Till next time.